Hey everybody, welcome back for week 3. This video is going out to both my mixed mode class that normally meets on Mondays and my amazing online section of ENC1101 because Monday's a holiday. So I wanted to give everybody the benefit of having a basic walkthrough of what we're doing this week because we are writing our first official formal paper. So that's going to mean learning about MLA formatting and using some of the previous tools we have talked about in terms of the writing process and how to get things set up properly and all that good stuff, and narrative writing. So our first paper is a personal narrative, and we're going to go over that assignment. I am also attaching a sample document to this announcement, so you can feel free to use that. It's in Word format already, so you can feel free to use that as a template, or just as something to look at to kind of see what yours should look like. But I am going to share Word with you, and I'm going to show you how to get your basic formatting set up. We won't be citing any sources in this paper, so we really just are looking at the format of MLA. Of course, we're going to be digging into the rest of MLA in the not so distant future. So I'm going to share two things, and I don't know which one will pop up first for you guys, but we'll use both of them eventually. All right, yes, Word always wants to be first, so we're gonna click onto the class instead. So first, we're going to look at the syllabus. Oh, actually, I'm just going to use the front page. Sorry. This is the online section. So for those of you who are viewing this from the mixed mode section, you'll notice that it doesn't have the little notes about when we're meeting and when we're not, but the schedule is exactly the same. So we're entering week 3. We're going to be continuing to learn about reading and writing for college in Canvas, and you're going to be writing, like I said, your first official paper, which is due at the end of this week. So let's go to the module for the week and look at the materials. So the overview for the week is that we're going to write a personal narrative essay and we're going to utilize MLA. So very straightforward this week, not a whole lot of fuss and muss, but important skills that we're going to be using this week. In the readings and resources, you do have some chapters to read in our OER composition text. So chapters 6 and 7. Narrative and description, we are going to write a narrative, but all narratives or stories usually involve description of people, places, and things. So I'm going to read both of those chapters. I'm going to go over that assignment with you in just a second, the personal narrative assignment, and then we will have a sample paper. Now, this sample paper, this is not my video, so I'm going to show you as well, but you can use this one as a template, but I'm going to show you the actual setup of a personal narrative as well. So then we have the reminder, of course, to be reviewing your grammar in the OER grammar text, whatever, just kind of take it a little bit of time throughout the semester. So let's talk about the assignment first. In this personal narrative essay, you will delve into a significant experience or event from your life that brought about a meaningful change in your perspective, beliefs, or values. Through vivid storytelling and introspection, you will recount the details of the experience, explore how it impacted you, and reflect on the lessons learned. The purpose of this assignment is to develop your narrative writing skills while also encouraging self-exploration and growth. Writing about a positive experience will be easier than writing about a traumatic event. Obviously, we learn a lot from trauma, but it's a lot harder to write about something that was a very negative experience. So I would focus on something positive. Some people want to focus on something that was a negative experience, but the outcome was positive. That's probably fine, but just remember, you do have to be graded on this. So sometimes if we're writing about things that are deeply traumatic or were, were negative experiences, it's really hard to accept criticism on those. So be careful about that. In terms of selecting a topic, choose an event, situation, or moment in your life that sparked a transformation or change in your thinking, behavior, or outlook. It could be a moment of realization, a challenge that you overcame. Maybe it's a personal achievement, a cultural encounter, could be a trip to another country or to someplace that is very different from where you're from, or really any other experience that holds significance to you. Some examples that I like to use, I talk about my 5th birthday party, because it was one of my most memorable birthday parties. And it was one of those things where I got exactly what I wanted in terms of my my cake and my decorations and stuff. So sometimes I'll focus on that. Graduations, make good ones. Experience at maybe summer camp or things of that nature. If you are a musician or you play sports, sometimes a sporting event or a musical performance event could be really good there. So you're going to use narrative elements to create your story. You're going to describe the time, place, and atmosphere. So setting, you're going to have characters. These are real people, but they are also characters in your story. So you're going to introduce them, including yourself, giving some insight into what their role is in the story. With plot development, this is still a story. So you do want to have a chronological sequence of events, and the transformative moment, the big reveal, will happen at the end of the paper. What was the conflict or challenge, and what was the resolution, and how did it impact you? So most of that discussion is probably going to come at the end, kind of in a conclusion. Reflective analysis. After narrating this experience, engage in reflection and address these points. What was your personal growth? What lessons did you learn? And how does your lesson connect to wider themes? So explore how your personal transformation relates to things like resilience or empathy, cultural awareness, personal identity, that sort of stuff. You are going to want to use descriptive language. So vivid sensory language, creating, letting us know what people look like and sound like, where you were. Was it hot? Was it cold? What did it look like? What did it feel like in the moment? You are welcome to get some peer review and feedback. There won't be a ton of time for that, but if you're interested in it, let me know, and I can share drafts with classmates and kind of parse them out. So if you are interested in that, let me know. We will have a much more formal peer review and instructor review process on the 2 researched essays, but if you do want some extra help like that, let me know. It's going to be typed. It's going to be double spaced. You'll use a 12-point font if you're using Times New Roman, or a standard font in a standard size is a better way of putting that. Needs to be at least 3 full pages, plain double spacing. You are going to use MLA for the overall format, which I'll show you in a second. And of course, there's no external research required. You need to create it in Word and save it as a Word document, and then you will upload your final essay to the assignment by the specified deadline, which of course is the end of the week. And then here's a list of kind of what your essay is evaluated on, but you can also see more specifically on the rubric where those 50 points, how those 50 points are divided out. So if you have any questions, of course, throughout the week, let me know. But that's the assignment. When you are ready to submit it, you click on Start Assignment, and you will notice that it asks you to upload the file. There is a link to your Office 365 as well. I'm in the student view, so it's not going to work for me, but you have that ability. I save everything on my computer, though. I want access to it no matter whether I have the cloud or not. So it's fine if you want to share it directly from Office 365, but it does need to be in a Word format, which is why I have Word open. MLA format and APA, which we're going to use down the road, requires you to use a standard font in a standard size, and it requires double spacing. It requires 1-inch margins all the way around, and then it has certain required elements that you will use. So the first thing you want to do when you are using Word is click on the no spacing button, because we want to have plain double spacing. So we're going to hit the spacing button and choose 2. The reason you want to hit no spacing first is because Microsoft Word has weird spacing involved. The only explanation I can think of is that somebody at Microsoft was on crack when they made this program. That's my theory. Don't know that that's true, but it's kind of how I feel. I mentioned that if you're using Times New Roman, it's going to be 12 point. So you may want to change that. And your name goes first. Oops. My last name, ENC1101, and then the date. So this is due on 10 September 2013. Of 2013. Oh my gosh. Did you see that flashback? So those are just on the regular margin. You don't have to do anything fancy. Once you've got plain double spacing on, everything is ready to go. Then you are going to center your title. My 5th birthday. And then you're going to go back to the regular margins. Now, when you're typing paragraphs, you can just tab. Don't hit enter until you're done with that paragraph. And then you go, oops, then you want to tab over for the next paragraph. It needs to be, as I mentioned earlier, 3 full pages, but you will not have a works cited unless you just want to quote something from a source. But typically you will not have that. I am going to put a full actual sample of this paper in the attachment for you guys, in the announcement that goes with this video. So I'm just going to leave this here for now because I'm going to fix it later. But you will save. I'm going to use save as, and you want to call it something that you can find it again. I would call it something like ENC of level 1, blah, blah, personal narrative. And that way you can find it. I'm saving it in my documents, and there you go. So if you need technical help, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to reading all about your exciting experiences. And I hope everybody has a great week 3. Take care, everybody.